Gardenoid Agush showed up to enlarge the monster Lethal Zuno. Curse you, Liveman. Now Lethal Zuno destroyed them, said Gardenoid Agush. A giant robot battle is up. Long time we haven't gotten into one, said Red Mask.
Live robot! Live boxer!
This is the first time both Galaxy Robo and Great 5 are in the same battle, said Red Mask. Lethal Zuno was proving more of a match than they think they could. However, with some ingenuity, they discovered they could still use the same technique. I think I know what to do, said Red Mask. What plan do you have? You know our robots can't gattai like theirs, said Pink Mask. That's not it. The Super Live Robo's power can be intensified by aura power. I think it's time for Super Live Robo to get a dose of aura power, said Red Mask. I haven't heard you think like that. Let's try it, said Black Mask. Well, that sounds like a great idea, said Blue Dolphin. Are you sure it will work, said Yellow Lion. Let's give it a try. It's now or never to defeat this monster, said Red Falcon. Super Live Robo stayed in the center. Galaxy Robo was at the left and Great 5 was at the right. They both released their aura power right into Super Live Robo. What's happening? Our energy is going up suddenly. I think we're going to blow, said Red Falcon. Looks like this isn't much of a good idea, said Yellow Lion. That's exactly it. We must release the super big burst now, said Blue Dolphin. For the sake of everything else, let's do the attack, said Green Rhino and Black Bison. We did it, said Red Falcon. But the outcome is bittersweet. Some other civilians died in the process of testing the machine, said Blue Dolphin. That's life as it is, said Yellow Lion. We did lose our siblings too, said Green Rhino. It's hard as it is already. They finally demorphed. The Maskmen were glad to have a short reunion. So Momoko, I wonder what made you decide to stay with Takeru, said Kenta. I actually quite like it, said Momoko. Actually, she's my wife now. I just married her while you were gone. I zapped her into marriage, joked Takeru. Takeru, who says anything about us being married? Aren't you still lovesick over that princess, said Momoko, who was thinking in her head about being forcibly married to Takeru. Oh, no. Well, honey, I already enrolled you in culinary school. Momoko chases Takeru in anger. Takeru runs and they both stumble onto each other. Looks like Takeru has gotten over the princess, but he needs all the strength he can to survive Momoko's awful dishes, said Haruka, giggling. The Hurricane Juice, together with the former Wind Rangers of the Ninja Storm team, Zack, Taylor, Tommy, Adam, and Cam decided to hang out a while with the Maskman and Liveman. They had formally introduced themselves to each other behind the scenes. I'm just glad you showed up, said Kenta to Tommy. It's all in a day's work. Besides, we're from the future to ensure the timeline doesn't get altered. Isn't what's happening now supposed to happen? We're best on leave now before another anomaly happens, said Tommy, who finally revealed in the archives that Takeru did marry Momoko. What the? We got married in the future? Said Takeru and Momoko, who were pretty shocked at the outcome. We have to go now before you two change your minds about each other and the timeline has changed for worse, said Tommy, snickering and giving them a stare. There are always battle losses regardless of how well we fought. Some civilians died in the process of the battle. Even the game show did kill some people, said Cam, who was referring to the number of victims each attack produced. I know it hurts a lot. Much tears are there, said Nami. Besides, in just a day, the first attack of our enemy of the Giankia killed an entire school. That was our ninja school. I bet there were other schools attacked too. This is the pain of being a hero, isn't it, said Adam. I feel sorry for them. Besides, I feel like I'm losing my confidence against villains who are more evil. We'll just have to do whatever we can, said Zack Taylor. Even if the villains here exceed Lord Zed and Rita's evil. Let's do what we can to stop them, then set the time back straight. That's the spirit, Zack, said Adam. I have to admit, you Hurricanes are way cooler than we are, and so are you Livemen, said Shane. Ugh. Oh, don't say that, said Yosuke Shina. Even without your spandex suits, you guys are awesome, said Yusuke Ayamiya. Oh, by the way, thanks for saving my life, Yosuke, said Tori with a charming smile. She had bandaged his wounds earlier. Oh, don't mention it. You're such a caregiver and a pretty one too, said Yosuke Shina, who started to show an interest in her. Tori has also begun finding him attractive, even if he was pretty much a dim-witted individual. We're from the same time period, Cam, said Tommy. I guess we'll have more help then. Thanks, said Cam. Then we're partners as well. Yusuke Ayamiya and Yosuke Shina did have a sword match one more time. Finally, Yusuke Ayamiya believed the claims that they were coming from the future. We've got to go now, Sensei. See you in the future then, said Yosuke Shina. I will be much older then. I wonder if I'll recall this time travel experience of yours to save our timeline, said Yusuke Ayamiya. Just then it turned out that Yosuke Shina had a delayed impact from his injuries from the game show of evil. After all, he had sustained some progressive shocks. We've got to go now, said Tori, who was assisted by Nami in carrying Yosuke Shina. At the Islands of Evil Fortress, Radiguet was angry with Lothor, Satorakura, Wendiu, Fubiaju, and Tao Zanto. Maybe I should not have paid you at all when Fubiju when Kronos used you for the third element of his staff, said Radiguet, picking her up and kicking her aside. Fubiaju, are you alright? Asked Wendiu. But Fubiaju was in tears after being smacked heavily by her emperor. Don't even bother helping her up, said Radiguet. Radiguet then blasted both Wendiu and Fubiaju. But look at the bright side, my lord. We did earn a lot of money, said Lothor. Silence, said Radiguet. He fired some energy bolts at Lothor, leaving him in pain as well. Tao Zanto was then next in the punishment. He tried to rebel by his own electric shocks, only to discover Radiguet could absorb them as well. As you know, I am very well prepared for any attempt at mutiny, so don't expect you can get the best of me, said Radiguet, who also tossed Tao Zanto aside. I am sorry, my lord. That will not happen again, said Tao Zanto. See that you will not rebel, nor anybody, said Radiguet, lest you all share the fate of Florius, who tried to put poison in my wine to take over my throne. Much later at the new skybase, Cam, Shane, Dustin, and Tori were impressed at where they were now. A part of a heroic alliance where they can help even without their powers as of the meantime. They were now in the Sentai year 2011. Guys, I guess we can just do other stuff, said Shane. There's more than just being a Power Ranger. I can't believe Tori decided to do nursing duties herself. I guess she's accidentally in love, said Dustin. I think so too, said Nami. It might be best if they are left alone now. It would be rude to interrupt a possible romance between them. But I wonder what we powerless Rangers can do, said Shane. You have your goddamn ninja powers! Sorry. This is getting worse and worse with each passing chapter, so forgive me. I'm sorry. I guess we can help you get our powers replicated then, said Nami. After all, we both have the same powers. You are our counterparts, no doubt, but I'd rather not disturb my counterpart Tori right now. I'd be glad to fight again, said Shane. But if we can't then, we'll help you out in the monitoring station. That would do either, said Kota. Oh yeah, I have to admit, Yosuke's rationist got him a jackpot today. He just won home a prize. In the resting room, Yosuke Shina found that he had overexerted himself. Again. Remember, Yosuke, you're not invincible. Just take a rest now. You'll just need all the rest you can before you can fight again, said Tori. Thanks, Tori, said Yosuke Shina, who noticed that she was there. Oh, it was nice of you to volunteer to assist me. You're really a special girl. It's all just a day's work, said Tori. You're really quite heroic. Both of them looked at each other with feelings denied to one another. And you two have impressed me back there with your brain, said Yosuke Shina. In fact, you saved your time, but I nearly cost their deaths. He may not be the best thinker, but he's really, in fact, charming in his own special way, said Tori, who was handing him some porridge from the kitchen. She's quite a girl, said Yosuke Shina, who was also having feelings for her as she did for him. This chapter may have been half-assed, but there is something major that overshadows it by a long shot. Something that we have been building up to since this Let's Read began. We all know just how everyone seems to hate Power Rangers Samurai, right? Well, Aizuki decided to devote an entire chapter to projecting this hate. However, next week's Not Exactly Samurai is actually meant to replace a chapter that has since been deleted, Operation Suicide. And that is getting its own separate video entirely later this week. Stay tuned.